So this is the language area, and in this world, students are going to start by answering a series of 10 questions, and based on these answers, the game is going to generate new exercises for each student.
So, what do you mean generate new exercises? Is it some kind of pool of pre-made exercises or something else?
No, it's not pre-made. Actually, it's an artificial intelligence that is going to take
Okay.
into account the answers, and based on these answers, it's going to create new exercises with new questions to match each of the students' profiles.
Okay, so obviously this was done partly by teachers, but probably not only. Who else worked on this?
Teachers played a major role in establishing the exercises, but mostly cognitive scientists helped us a lot in creating these exercises and the questions.
Okay, so all of this then is made from, I guess, results from research in cognitive science, and the purpose is to improve children's ability to understand how language works and its grammatical structures.
Yeah, exactly. For instance, right here you have this one of these exercises which introduces you to a fictional language called the Rabussien, and it basically it's based on the French grammatical structures, but all the words you will find in this language are completely invented.
Okay, so that's just to learn the structure, and I suppose this can be adapted to match any other widely spoken language, like English, for example.
Sure, it can be easily adapted to Spanish, to Italian, to many languages. Yeah, of course, we can do that.
Okay. So you can really interact with a lot of things. Who are all these characters?
Well, these characters, for instance, they are part of a different kind of exercises that helps you learn about grammar and conjugation.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a lot of different characters that you can interact with, and students they are going to be awarded with character skins, for example, or badges every time they
Yeah,
give
or I
good
just
answers.
got a custom item from answering the question correctly.
Yeah, all the custom items that you're going to receive, you will have to use them in the later exercises.
Okay.
So it works like this.
A kind of bonus, or is it a way to ensure that you've managed to do all the previous exercises?
It's actually both. It's actually
Okay.
both.
All right.
Yeah, it's a bonus that can help you, and you're going to use it for different exercises such as working on etymology, on conjugating verbs, exploring the construction of words, and so on.
Okay. So whatever the language, this map will really enable you to discover everything about it, its origin, how it works, and depending on how you do, it will reward you for it.
Yeah, definitely. And these rewards that you receive in game are going to allow you to customize your online avatar, which is something that kids they really like to do. So right here we are in Metropolis, which is one of the 3 coding worlds that we have created. And in each of these worlds, students are going to learn the basics of programming. And in order to do that, they are going to use this little robot called the Kidsbot.
The kids bot, that's what I'm working on right now, and this bot is really cool. You can pretty much program it to do anything you want. So for example, it can build structures, it can dig blocks, it can fly, and it can even execute kind of loops where it will do something over and over again until something new arises, and it acts accordingly.
For instance, right here, this exercise you're doing, the Kidsbot has to identify what kind of block is ahead, and depending on the block, it will have to act accordingly. So break it or dig another node above, etc.
So the fact that we're using a 3D world, whereas most kids' programming tools are using 2D worlds, really adds an extra level of complexity, and it gives more room for creative projects or even group-based workshops.
Definitely. And you need to know that at home, kids, they can also use their Kidsbot on their own. So we have 3 large worlds. Coding School is for beginners. Then we have Science Factory for intermediate levels, and Metropolis, so this world, for advanced users. And each world has its own tutorials, its own set of exercises and instructions, so it's really easy to use.
And in schools, teachers can access from a distance each student's programming interface and interact with them in real time. They don't have to come over to each robot to help the students. They can see everything from their interface.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what I'm going to show right here. In this menu, you can just in 2 clicks, you can instantly watch the interface of other robots.
So any Kidscode user who's subscribed to a premium account gets access to hundreds of blocks and items that they can use to create their own educational content. Or actually, why not just try to create educational escape games like this one?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the funny thing is that more and more teachers are using escape games as a tool to improve students' ability to work as a team, for example, or to plan things in advance, or to use their general knowledge and their sense of observation and logic in order to unlock new areas.
And the really cool thing about Kidscode is that with the fast-growing community, anyone can upload their creations, and the teachers and the students can all play these different maps.
Yes, exactly. We have an online platform, and every time you create the content, an educational content or an escape game like this one, you can easily share it with the whole world, basically. And everybody can try your exercises, everybody can rebuild on top of your exercises and share it with their colleagues, other students, and so on. So right here, we are in a world called sustainable agriculture. And basically, the purpose of this world is to recreate real phenomena and let children experience different ways of doing agriculture. So right here, Matthew is actually experiencing extensive agriculture and crop rotation.
So for this to happen, they'll have a choice of many different means of production. So for example, they can use natural manure, or they can use a chemical fertilizer. And these are, what we want them to do is have their own experiences by themselves, and then let them come by themselves again to a conclusion by looking at the results.
What happens basically is that in this world, we're going to have several groups of students working in different areas, and each set of students are going to use different agricultural type. Extensive agriculture, intensive agriculture, battery caging, and so on. And for instance, a group that's going to use fertilizer instead of natural manure is going to see that their soil becomes polluted with time.
Yes, that's exactly what we want to achieve here. Let students work together and teach them how to draw conclusions themselves from their experiences.